Most heroes have 4 spells. The first 3 are leveled up 4 times, the last ability, the ultimate, is leveled up 3 times, and not available until level 6. Then you throw the rest of your levels into stats until 25. Invoker is a lot different. He has 10 or 14 spells, depending on how you define it. He can't level up stats, and gets his ultimate at level 2. Let's go through Invoker spells one at a time. His first move, Quas, grants a permanent strength bonus, and increases health regeneration when activated. Next is Wex. Wex grants permanent agility, plus attack and movement speed when activated. Lastly, Exort grants permanent intellect and damage when activated. Any combination of these 3 can be activated at once, and they can each be leveled up 7 times.
This bores me. Tornado.
If you read Invoker's bio, it's all about memorizing spells, and that's exactly what you'll have to do to deploy him. At level 2, Invoker gets its ultimate, Invoke. Casting Invoke gives Invoker a spell based off of the passive elements he currently has activated. Each time Invoke is used, the old spell is replaced. After Invoke is level 2, 2 spells can be held at once. Leveling Invoke decreases its cooldown. There are 10 total combinations to memorize, each corresponding to a different spell. The strength of each spell depends on how many levels you have in its required elements, not on the level of Invoke. You can click the question mark next to Invoke to see a cheat sheet, but to play Invoker well, you'll have to memorize these combinations to react quickly. Invoking 3 Quas will grant you Cold Snap. Placing Cold Snap on an enemy causes them to be stunned with every bit of damage they take.
Mindfully. Cold Snap.
Two Quas and a Wex gives you Ghost Walk. This spell makes you invisible, but slows you and the enemies around you. If you are slow enough, enemies can follow you by ensuring that they are slowed.
Mirot's Hindergast. This bores me. I'm well aware of it.
Two Quas and an Exort gives you Ice Wall. Casting the spell places an ice wall in front of you that slows enemies.
Arcana known only to me. I am committed.
Wex gives you EMP. This spell places a charge that detonates after a few seconds depending on your level of Wex and burns the mana of those in the blast, as well as doing 0.5 damage for each mana burn.
Your top tower is under attack.
Wex Quas is a tornado that works sort of like an AoE Yule's Scepter, tossing enemies it hits in the air, except when they land, they take damage.
An incantation long remembered. Claws of Tornaris.
WWE gives Alacrity. This is a simple buff that you can place on any of your allies or yourself. It increases damage and attack speed.
Hex. The Learned One strikes. Wex exhort.
All Exort gives you Sunstrike. This spell has global range and a 1.7 second delay before hitting. The damage from Sunstrike spreads out evenly over multiple targets. When you cast Sunstrike, you'll see sunlight marking the spot about to be struck. Don't worry, enemies can't see this. Two Exort and a Quas give you Forge Spirit. This summons a Forge Spirit, or two if Quas and Exort are over level 4. Their attacks have a stacking armor reduction on hit, and at max level they can have an impressive 900 attack range. EEW is Chaos Meteor. This spell drops a giant meteor on enemies and leaves a line of fire that deals damage over time.
Your middle tower is under attack.
One of my favorites. Karak's descent
Your
of
middle tower is under attack.
Combining one of each element creates Deafening Blast. This spell fires a sound wave in front of Invoker that damages and stuns enemies. Afterwards, the enemies are also disarmed.
Thither I go. Sensorial Incapacitator! I proceed.
Invoker falls far from the standard hero archetype and can fill almost any role, but this video has shown everything that he is